Flemington last start, taking out the Roy Higgins. A great run there over 2,600 metres. He was strong through the line in beating home De Beer, and looks very, very hard to beat here once again as he steps up to the 2 miles for the first time, as many are doing. Number 3, De Beer, who he beat home that day. They've been in great form, winning at the Valley prior to that over the 2,500 metres in the Tawny Night Cup before he finished second to the King of Leogrance last start. Home by Midnight. Now, he's one that does have form over 3,200 metres. He was second in an Auckland Cup. He's had about 9 or probably 11 runs now in Australia, and it took him all that time to break his duck here and win a race in Oz, but now that he's done that, he might be able to go on with it, and that 3,200 metre form really stands out here. Home by Midnight. Patrick Payne's got him ticking along beautifully. Billy Egan, who went down to Launceston to win that Launceston Cup. I was down there for that. He won it. He had it won at the turn. Won it easy that day. So he's 8 out to $10 Home by Midnight to go on with it. And Naval Warfare, as I mentioned, there's some money for it as well. It's been 15 into 11. Dark Alley 7 out to 10. They're the main ones for the Tab Adelaide Cup. It comes up next on Sky. To the winner over a photo for second, third and fourth. Tornado Time at the winner. The Tab Adelaide Cup, we're not too far off getting underway. The 3,200 metre feature. This race dates back to 1864. A race steeped in history. Surprise Baby, the winner of last year's race, went on to go close in much stronger staying company, and a race that's seen some of the stars of the turf succeed here. Hyperno, the winner back in 78, Rain Lover in 68, Sub-Zero, the cult following that he's certainly achieved since his Melbourne Cup win. He won it in 1992, and Lord Reams, perhaps the most successful of them all, who was successful for 3 straight years in the late 80s, and Just a Dash won it as well in 1981 before his Melbourne Cup success. Here in this year's edition, number 4, King of Leogrance, to go around as the very well supported favourite. As we said, opened 240 into 225, did touch 220 off that strong Flemington win last start. Drawn 14, De Beer, the horse he beat home that day for Chris Waller, Jai McNeil at $7. Home by Midnight's continued to attract some support, although it's just touching $10 now. It did open at 8, and Naval Warfare 15 to 10 has had some support as well, coming off 3 straight placings, the latest of those in that race that King of Leogrance was able to win last start in the Roy Higgins. So the top 3 place getters in that race coming through to the Tab Adelaide Cup here over 3,200 metres. Having a look at the South Australian official prices, and we find that it's been King of Leogrance 245, touched 250, now into 220. Of the others, number 1 Home by Midnight 850 to 11, De Beer rock solid 650, down to Naval Warfare 12 into 950, and then further down to Yulong Rising 13 to 15, Heart of Grace 17 to 21, Dark Alley 850 to 10, the other one worthy of mention. A feature event this afternoon, the Group 2 Tab Adelaide Cup, as we join Brett Davis.
From France, didn't do a great deal in his first prep of racing here in Australia, but he's really come to hand well this time in with a second and a win last start in the Roy Higgins quality at Flemington. He looks a real cup horse. He's got a terrific turn of acceleration. Whether he's just a handicapper or potentially a weight for age horse, we'll have to wait and see. The barrier draw certainly may test him a little bit today. Barrier number 15. It's not the kindest draw, but the race is a long way, and no doubt, as is often said by trainer and jockey, the key is getting your horse to settle in these long staying races. De Beer, another import. He's now into $6.50 from $7. The former Irish galloper. Game in defeat last start, but he was just beaten by the superior turn of acceleration from King of Leogrance. Home by Midnight, the Launceston Cup winner, 10 out to 11. And Dark Alley, can Paul Prushka do it again? Surprise Baby last year, Dark Alley at $10. Moving in well for the Tab Adelaide Cup, the 150th running. Only half a dozen to load in. Good Idea, Yulong Rising, Night Star to come forward with Alienated. Naval Warfare, favourite King of Leogrance, is still out behind the gates. Kayla Crowther rides Epidemont, one of 2 ladies riding in the race. Georgina Cartwright rides Alienated. And we're getting close to a start. 3,200 metres. The 150th edition of the Tab Adelaide Cup. King of Leogrance is favourite. The light is flashing. Stand by. Racing in the Cup. Slow to get going was Rock On. Clearly last of all. He's 4 lengths behind them early on. Epidamont jumped nicely nearer the inside. Yulong Rising. So too Naval Warfare. Pressing forward. De Beers also on the hunt in the early picture. So too Home by Midnight. King of Lear Grants at the moment. He's settling back. He's 4 or 5 deep. He's going to look for cover here, Lane, as the field makes their way to the home corner. And the straight for the first time in the TAB, the Tab Adelaide Cup, the 150th running, and it's the Launceston Cup winner at his last start. Home by Midnight, who shows the way into the straight. Alienated is moving up into second. Naval Warfare, Yulong Rising, Epidamont's down on the rail. Between horses is De Beer. Good Ideas 3 and 4 wide, followed then by Dark Alley, who's wedged between horses midfield. They are then trailed by Heart of Grace on the outside of Turfman, shooting the mob 4th last. The favourite in the Cup, King of Lear Grants, is 3rd last, but he's got cover 3 wide, followed by Night Star and Rock On last of all. Heading towards the side of the course and towards the 2,000 metres, and Alienated has now rolled on and takes the lead from Good Idea. De Beers on the move around them. He wants the spot outside of the leader. Home by Midnight was happy to take a sit in. 2 lengths further back, Naval Warfare, a half then, Yulong Rising. Then a length to, on the outside, Dark Alley, who's covering Epidamont, and then outside of them was Heart of Grace. She's 3 deep. She's worse than midfield. 2 further back then to King of Lear Grants, who's settling well back in the field. He's covering up down on the rail, shooting the mob. And then Night Star and Rock On, one of the last, with Turfman just ahead of them. They've gone past the halfway in the Tab Adelaide Cup. And the leader is Alienated. Georgina Cartwright by 2 lengths. De Beers moved to second. 3rd place, Home by Midnight. Then a length away to Good Idea, followed by Yulong Rising. Naval Warfare making a move, so is Rock On wider out. Then Heart of Grace, followed then by King of Lear Grants, who's still back in the last half a dozen, with Dark Alley and Epidamont's been shuffled right back. Night Star, Turfman and Shooting the Mob last of all. Alienated runs down the side, heads towards the 1,000. 3/4 on De Beer, who's stalking. Rock On's gone up 3rd now. Home by Midnight's had a lovely run in the race, followed by Good Idea. Then wider out on the track is Heart of Grace. King of Lear Grants is still in a 3 wide position. He's yet to pull the stick. Followed then down on the rail by Yulong Rising. Getting between them, Naval Warfare. Night Star, Epidamont's well back with Dark Alley shooting the mob, and Turfman's last of all. De Beers run to the front in the Cup. He sped to the lead, coming to the 500 metres. Good Idea, Heart of Grace. Rock On's under pressure. Home by Midnight. King of Lear Grants wider out. He's coasting up. Trailed into the race by Dark Alley. They swing for home, and De Beer cornered in front from Good Idea, who raced to him. King of Lear Grants, he's absolutely bolting. Coming to the 300 metres, King of Lear Grants. He cuts the ribbons now, Lane. King of Lear Grants, race clear. Good Idea, De Beer. Then further back to out wide, Shooting the Mob, and they were followed by Dark Alley. But the king will be crowned. It's King of Lear Grants. What a win. He races away to win by 2 lengths over Good Idea, Brave and Defeat. Shooting the Mob charged into 3rd, a long gap then to Dark Alley, followed by Turfman, and then Night Star. Heart of Grace, De Beer weakened. Further back, Epidamont, Yulong Rising, then Naval Warfare. Home by Midnight, Rock On, and Alienated is last in the Cup.
Well, it's an arrogant win to King of Lear Grants, hasn't he? Bolted in there in the Tab Adelaide Cup. A tremendous ride. Patient ride from Damien Lane. He was happy to sit 3 deep with cover towards the back of the pack, but when he unleashed, he showed a turn of foot, didn't he? His 5-year-old son of Camelot out of Amaret. But Danny O'Brien, Damien Lane gives the pair of them a double for the day. And more importantly, a stayer of ultimate quality here, King of Lear Grants. We know he can get 3,200 metres. I tell you what, from a Melbourne Cup point of view, that was a very nice trial for that race, wasn't it? King of